Today I'm taking my last written that I need to take for this challenge that I kind of started at the beginning of the year, because why not? I'm gonna give you guys a little flashback for the new people. So at the beginning of the year this year, I was like, my check ride is coming up. It's on March 23rd, which is coming up pretty soon. Why don't I try to get my ground instructor certificates at the same time? So I had to take 3 written tests. Don't mind the socks in my hand. I had to take 3 writtens. I had to take the FOI written, the fundamentals of instruction, the AGI written, the advanced ground instructor written, and the IGI written, which is my last one, which is today. So then I can teach instrument, well, the instrument ground, maybe not instrument flight, but I can teach all the ground knowledge for instrument. Gives me a little bit of a side hustle to do when I pass my instrument rating and working towards commercial, because I'm gonna end up becoming a flight instructor as well. So I figured, why not give me a little challenge and try to get all 3 written done in practically a month. Well, I kind of messed up the little timing on it. I messed up the timing on getting it done within a month, so it's taken me a little bit more than a month. But so far, with the writtens, I have gotten, I don't know if you guys can see. No, I'm gonna flip the camera around. So over here's my whiteboard. This is where I keep everything right here. Here's a little quote: "Being hated by idiots is the price you pay for not being one of them." It's a pretty good quote. So we have 2 writtens right here. We have the FOI written, which I got an 88, the AGI written, which I got a 93, and today is the IGI written. I also have the IFR written, or the IFR check ride on there as well. So essentially, I'm trying to get all my writtens done as possible, or all the writtens done. And today's the last one. Today's probably the easiest out of the 3, but I want to talk to you guys how I'm doing all this. And this is kind of a follow-up video to a video that I made a few years, or not a few years ago. I think it was last year that I made the video of how I basically passed my IFR written, the instrument rating airplane written, with a 95 using Sheppard Air. But I want to make an updated video, respond to some comments, because there's a lot of comments. That video got a lot of views on it somehow. So that's basically what this video is going to be about today. I actually have to leave to go take the written in about 10 minutes. We get some car driving content. Yay, I like talking in the car because, you know, listening to music can be a little much. So let me tell you guys how I did it all. Well, you guys should know how I did it all, but I'll tell you guys my process. Also, before I leave the house, here's the 95 on my instrument written. I'm not going to show my FTN number. So 95 on that. This one's my AGI written. And then this one's my FOI written. Ooh, it's hot! Alrighty, everyone. So I'm on my way to the airport right now. Not my airport, but I'm taking my written test at Tampa Executive, which, if you guys live in Tampa, great airport to take the written at, in my opinion. I actually had a viewer recommend it to me because the place that I used to go to for my writtens, I couldn't get like a written scheduled over there. But Tampa Executive, pretty good place to go take the writtens. I wish my airport had writtens as well, or had the ability to, or had like a testing center at my airport. I wish there was a testing center at my airport, just because I like my airport. I'm a little bit biased. But Tampa Executive, pretty nice airport to take a written at. The drive there, it's about the same as going to my airport, give or take, minus a little bit of scary moments because I have to take I-4. But that's not the point. The point is the 3 written. So I basically did these 3 writtens in about a month and a half. And then my IFR check rides in 2 weeks. That's when the writtens are going to be processed, so I can get the ground instructor certificates. But I want to talk to you guys about the strategy that I used with Sheppard Air, and especially with the AGI written, because that one really, I was really actually nervous for. I thought I was going to fail that one, but I actually got the highest score. Well, for right now, I've had the highest score on the AGI written, and then the FOI written was kind of the one that I really couldn't fail because it's the one that required an instructor endorsement. So here's the strategy. You guys know the basic Sheppard Air strategy that they give you. So step 1 is you go through all of the questions with the answers. You do in sequence A, default answer choices, all that fun stuff. So I do that, and I go through all the questions, and I'll do that one day. I'll go through all the questions in one day, and then I'll be done for the day. Take a break, get it in my brain. The next day, what I do is I go through all of the questions that I go through all the categories again, but this time on sequence B, random answer choices, and I gotta pick which one that I know the best. And then after that, study strategy step number 3, which is you go through all of the questions with random answer choices. Now, I go through this one. I think Sheppard Air recommends you go through it once and then mark missed questions. I go through it 3 times and mark my missed. I go through it 3 times. The first one, I do it to test myself. The second time, I do it to see where my mistakes are starting to form. And then I'll start marking questions. And then the third time as well, anything that I missed becomes a marked question. Got it? Cool. And then study strategy step number 4 is go through all the marked questions. I have done a lot of research with this one because I struggled kind of with them for a little bit, especially on the AGI written, I struggled. So what I did was basically I go through the marked questions 3 times as a minimum before unmarking any question. 3 times I go through marked questions, and then I go down the marked questions until it's about 10% of the question bank. So if it's like an 800 question bank, you could get away with getting down to 80. But I'd keep going through those as well. And then you take a practice test. If you do not score a 90, which is what Sheppard Air recommends, if you do not score 90, do not even think about scheduling a test. So this morning I scored a 94 on the IGI written, which I feel ready for it because it's a lot of the same question bank as the instrument rating airplane written as well. And I remember a lot of it from, what was that, last year? Which, if you guys are wondering, do you really remember the answers from a year ago if you haven't done it? Yes, you kind of do remember them, but it's good to get a refresher. Plus, if you get the IGI Sheppard and you've already did the IRA Sheppard, it's only $10. So, and then there's also some helicopter questions on the IGI written as well. So if you don't score 90 on the practice test, you repeat step 3 and step 4, and you're basically guaranteed at least a 90. So the goal today is to try to get 100. Will I get 100? Probably not. I will probably get maybe like a 90, 95 on it. I try shooting for the stars personally. If I score below like an 80, I'm gonna be pretty upset. But there's no check ride for it, so I'm not entirely worried about how many questions I get wrong. It's kind of like a pass or fail thing with the ground instructor written. But if you guys are doing like a instrument written or a commercial written, highly recommend you guys keep doing it until you're scoring in the high 90s on the practice test. So like my instrument practice test, I think if I recall correctly, I've gotten like 97s, 95s. I think at one point I got 100. I can't recall correctly. It's been a while, so don't quote me if I got 100 on a practice test or not. But basically, you just want to keep doing it until you feel pretty confident that you can get a high enough score. Because you want to get a really high score on your instrument, and your commercial ones for sure. Because your marked questions, those ACS codes, those are going to be asked on the check ride 100% without a doubt. I'm going to go drive to the airport. I'll let you guys know how the written goes. I'll run back home, and then we'll read some comments from the video, and I'll answer some questions because there's a lot of comments. I haven't really had time to go through all of them. So let's go do that. All right, everyone, so I just passed my instrument ground instructor written. I don't know if you guys can see, but I got an 88 on it. I don't want to show my FTN number, and I don't feel like blocking it out. But I broke my record for, I gotta put the microphone on this side, I forgot. But I broke my record for the fastest written. I finished this test in 9 minutes, start to finish, including going over all the answers as well, just to make sure I clicked everything correctly. And then the survey was an extra 40 seconds. The proctor timed me. I was like, time me on this. 88% pass, which is good. Would I recommend doing that for an actual like written? Probably not. To maybe take your time a little bit and make sure you guys actually put down the correct answer. But I'm gonna run home and I'm gonna go sit in my chair with my computer and we're gonna go read comments with some questions about Sheppard Air. The FAQs from the video from last year. I recommend Tampa Executive to take it written at. So I don't want to drop the flight school name, but if you guys live in the Tampa airport or the Tampa area, if you take it written at Tampa Exec, you're gonna have a good experience. I'm gonna run home. See you guys in a second. All right, everyone, now's the time where I get to answer questions. I actually just got one. I just got a notification for a comment, which is kind of funny, which we'll actually use that one first. So the first question is, hello, did you use Sheppard Air for ground or did you use it as a test prep only? I used it as a test prep only. That's what the program is made for, is a test prep software for like any written that you're about to take. You should do an actual ground school and Sheppard as well. Do Sheppard first so you can get the written done, and then do the ground school so you have the knowledge on whatever rating you're going for, whether that be whatchamacallit, instrument, commercial. There's no Sheppard for private, so I would find a good ground school that has good questions. I heard Sporties is good, Pilot Institute's good, and I did King School. I thought it was pretty good, so there's that. Another question about, did you do a ground school first or did you jump straight into Sheppard Air? This one was on the instrument one, but I did Sheppard first and then I did my ground school twice. I did my ground school unmotivated when I first did the written. Pursuing the rating, I did the full ground school. Next question, how did you do this in 3 days? Did you not sleep? How many hours did it take? I basically spent, I would say 6 to 8 hours that day or the weekend studying as well. As part of the memorization, do you solely focus on the question or do you also focus on the figure? I kind of focus on both as well. So like some of the answers will be like figure 140, 141, or 142. So I'll try to find the pattern with them and then I don't have to reference the figure. But I would also try to focus on what figure it is as well, because that can trip you up on the test as well. Because some of the answers will be like, okay, is it 1, 2, or 3? But then it could also be 4, depending on the figure. So it'll have either 1 and 4, but you gotta know which one to pick due to the figure that is being shown. We actually have 2. I found Sheppard overwhelming. It's too much to study, 1,100 questions numerous times. I think King or Sporties then just takes the FAA practice test over and over. Those courses help you learn concept, not just memorize answers, and there's a read more for that. Okay, so for writtens, you can do both. I've always been recommended to do Sheppard Air, so I followed the Sheppard Air study strategy to get as high as you can on written. You could also do the test as well, but in my opinion, I think memorizing the 1,100 questions, they recommend like 2 weeks for it as well instead of 3 days. If you go through the questions with your heart's content, you'll remember the answers easier. And then even if you pass, you can also retake the test as well. I don't know if you guys knew that, but you guys don't have to fail a written to take it again. So like if you guys got like, I don't know, an 83 or something. Let's see here, can I pull it up on here? So this is my instrument written. So if I didn't score high enough like I wanted to on the instrument written, I could just get my instructor to fill this out and then I can go take that written again. You guys don't need to fail a written to take it again. Common misconception. That's pretty much all the unresponded comments. And then there's also one more. How many questions you went through each day? I don't think I went over this one. I don't really do like a set amount of questions per day. I kind of do the steps per day. So like I'll do step 1 on day 1, step 2 on day 2, step 3 on day 3, yada, yada, yada. I also don't really follow what they posted. I talked about it at the beginning of the video, but for steps 3 and 4, I don't do them once. I do them like 3 to 5 times before taking a practice test, which helps with recalling what the answer is going to be. But that's pretty much about it for this video. We finally got 3 writtens done in a month and a half. We got the FOI with an 83, the AGI with a 93, and the IGI, no, I'm wrong. FOI is an 88, AGI is a 93, and IGI is another 88 as well. So this gets to go into my little check ride folder because my examiner's gonna ask me this on my, or ask for the writtens on my check ride, which is gonna be in 2 weeks. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys have a written coming up, I highly recommend Sheppard Air. Highly recommend it. Even if you already took a written and it's kind of the same question bank, they offer discounts, and come on, $10 for an insurance policy so you don't fail a written. I think that's a pretty good deal to me. Anyways, study hard, and we'll see you guys up in the skies. Or in the classroom if you're becoming an instructor. Well, I guess we'll also see you guys up in the skies too.